Have you ever wondered how your favorite buffet restaurants manage to keep the food flowing while still turning a profit? Well, you're in for a treat because today we are going to reveal the secrets of how buffets make a profit while keeping us coming back for more. First, we need to understand how the buffet actually works. Buffets do not charge per dish like most restaurants. Rather, they offer unlimited eating opportunities for a certain amount of money. So in order to make profit, there's one thing buffets need to take into consideration, and that's walking the line of their pricing. They can't set prices too low as they'll lose money, but if they price themselves too high, people aren't going to feel like they'll get their money's worth. It's a balancing act, and it's a lot to take into consideration. But for now, let's dive into the secret strategies that buffets use to turn a profit. One of the things buffets have going for them is an overhead different than traditional restaurants. Ask anyone in the business, and they'll tell you their overhead takes up a huge percentage of their profits. But buffets have a much lower overhead thanks to you. You probably don't even notice you're doing their work for them, did you? You serve yourself, and in some places, you might even get your own drinks. This means there's next to no need for waitstaff, and paying wait is expensive. Since there are no worries about fancy plating or presentation, and since the menu relies heavily on a series of regular dishes, that changes the sorts of chefs they need in the kitchen. A large number of the dishes are often prepped in advance, which cuts down on how many people need to be hired to be in the kitchen throughout a service. And at some buffets, like Korean BBQ places, the customers are even doing the cooking as well as the serving. Food costs are a huge part of running a restaurant, and buffets are no exception. Reports say that food costs are generally between 30 and 35% the cost of the meal, and that's standard across the industry. So if you're serving $10 of ingredients, customers should be paying $30, which covers all overhead with profit tacked on too. Straightforward in most restaurants, but at a buffet, they don't know how much a person's going to eat. They still stick with the same percentages and base their pricing on an average food consumption. And here's why it works. Even if a person, let's call him Billy, comes in and eats 3 times what a normal person would, the buffet still isn't losing money because they've built their food costs, their overhead, and their profits into what they're charging. Billy also isn't increasing the buffet's overhead by being there, so he's not costing them anything either. No matter who Billy goes to the buffet with, they're probably not going to eat as much as him. Maybe not even as much as they paid for. That helps maintain and boost the profits. Just like you might have some ways of minimizing waste in your home, buffets have some tricks too. Usually they monitor everything, including weekly waste amounts, and plug it into a massive computer model. That allows them to track exactly how much customers are eating and how much is getting thrown away, and allows them to adjust menus based on what's popular, and that varies throughout the year. For example, salads are in higher demand in January, and fish is more popular on weekends. Knowing that means they can plan ahead to put out what people are going to want and in what quantities. They also adjust how dishes are served to minimize waste. For each pan, they estimate there's going to be at least 5% and as much as 25% waste, so they use small pans. They've also revamped their buffets to serve more individual, pre-portioned items than panned food, and it all reflects in their bottom line. Now think of the layout of a buffet. There are a lot of similarities across the board, and there are reasons why everything is laid out like it is, to help the restaurant maximize their profits. First, you'll come to your salads, your veggies, and if you're in the Chinese buffet, your rice, fried rice, and your noodles. Those are all the cheapest ingredients, and the temptation is to start loading up your plate right away. It's only farther down the line, when you already have a decently full set of plates, that you'll find things like meat and fish. Check out the way things are served too. You can grab a massive ladle full of rice and veggies, but it's tongs when it comes to those inevitably small portions of meat. They'll take longer to get on your plate, and we don't like the pressure of holding up a line, so we tend to move quickly through. Also, pans with more expensive foods are generally less full, a subtle encouragement to take less, while cheap ingredients will be served in giant, overflowing pans. There's plenty for all, and we like that. One of the biggest factors impacting your eating habits at a buffet are the tools you're given. You'll almost never see full-sized dinner plates or actual soup bowls, and instead, you'll be given small plates, ramekins, and even tiny dessert bowls. Sure, they'll give you a tray to carry all those little dishes, but you're not going to be able to pile many plates on, and that cuts down on how much you can eat per trip. Restaurant suppliers know this, and buffets can even purchase tableware especially designed for buffets. That even includes silverware, which tends to be smaller, but not small enough you'd really notice. There's a game here too. Sure, you can make as many trips as you want, but you'll probably have to ask for silverware. Is that last trip up to the buffet worth the bother? You see it now, don't you? In the world of buffets, there's a golden rule. Fill the customer's belly cheaply. No one wants a meal that looks and tastes cheap, but buffets aren't going to make money if they're offering steak. So, they bank on variety and a ton of foods that can be made with certain types of ingredients, ones that are cheap but high quality and versatile. For a lot of buffets, those are things like vegetables. You're likely to see a ton of veggie dishes on a buffet because they can buy veggies for pennies a pound, especially considering they're buying in bulk. Things like carrots and potatoes can be used to bulk up a variety of dishes, and cheap vegetables also have the added bonus of giving health-conscious customers a ton of options. So next time when you're at a buffet, just check out how many vegetable dishes there are, then look for the rice and noodle-based dishes. They're super cheap too, and they're going to definitely fill the bellies of customers who pile them onto their plates. Another thing you're going to find a lot of on the buffet table are seasonal and regional foods and ingredients. Generally, the benefit to a menu heavy on these ingredients is twofold. First, if something's in season, restaurants are going to be able to get it much, much cheaper, especially buying in bulk. You see it yourself in the grocery store. Take tomatoes. It's cheaper to get a bushel of those in the middle of tomato season than it is to get a handful that have been shipped in from somewhere else during the off-season, right? It's the same with locally sourced food. If a restaurant is lucky enough to be on a waterfront, for example, becoming a regular, large-scale customer of the fishermen who work the coastline is going to profit everyone involved in the long run. And secondly, it makes the buffet look good. When they can offer menus advertised with words like locally sourced and seasonal, it makes customers feel like they're getting something special. At the end of the day, buffets need to keep people happy and coming back. It's not just about the food, it's about the experience. And that experience plays a vital role in their profitability and overall success. So let us know in the comments which of these secret strategies surprised you the most. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Also, press the bell icon for instant notifications so that you never miss a video from Factastic Trivia.